Okay, that was weird. Someone just chatted me. I bet they're just like, what happened? Yeah, I don't know. It just ended for no reason. I think that was a glitch on Zoom's part. Hopefully it doesn't do it again. We only have 2 more. Okay, is it? No, it does not seem to have recorded any of that. That's annoying. All right. Anyway, so normally I would just think of aorum as being there. That's how Rhydon is glossing it. But anyway, we should probably just say blind fortune rules their minds and then tweak it once we do the relative clause. Because if you said their minds and then said who, I'd be like, wait, huh? You mean the like who as in the there? So basically, I'm just talking about like the antecedent. I already know what the antecedent of qui is. That's why I'm being weird. But we have this whole relative clause to deal with. That's what the second half of the sentence is. So don't forget about relative clauses. So fortune rules the minds of those who, with care, and then dokin tor is just third plural yet again. All of the verbs are third plural, but it's passive and it's present tense. It's not. It's just present tense. So it's not that who actively teach, but who are taught with care. So yeah, guys, don't let blind fortune rule your mind. But qui was the relative pronoun here, and its antecedent was aorum. And that is like it wasn't mentes. That's just kind of why I want to say the minds of those as opposed to their minds. And I hope that makes sense. I made it more complicated than it actually is. If I picked this one, you would tell me the verb is third person, plural number, passive voice, but it's present tense. So it's all the same things as the first example and the third example, except it's present tense. So let me change that. Present. I wonder if you get any future ones. All right, if there's no questions, let's do our last one, and then I'll let y'all leave while I stay here and talk about the first 3 all over again, because I don't think they got recorded. And there's only a third of the class here. So, okay, oh, this one's really weird. So, okay, it even gave me a second of pause. You scan through the whole thing, you're like, maybe all or like every is my subject. And you can sometimes make omnes, not just all or every, but like every one. Like, don't be shy about make it specifically be about like people. But okay, it's not going with memoria. It's not like all memories. They don't agree at all. Memoria is like ablative. Omnes is maybe nominative. But then we look at movei more with the MUR ending, and that tells us what our subject is. It is going to be we, because more is the first person plural. So we finally have a passive verb that is not just third plural. This is first plural. So it kind of looks like first plural active, MUS, right? It's just MUR instead of MUS. So it's going to be we. And then omnes is going to be modifying said we. So we don't really ever see that, where we have an adjective modifying what is essentially either something what you could describe as a drop subject or just a subject that isn't spelled out explicitly, like it's just kind of like in the verb's ending. So that's kind of weird. We don't really do that. But so this is the we from the verb and the all from here. So we all, and then let's just finish translating the verb, not actively move. This is present passive. We all are moved. Are moved. And then not just moved, but moved by the sweet memory. This macron A and this macron I might not look like they're both ablative, but dulcus is getting the long I because it's third declension. So they are actually going together. And they are an ablative of means. We're moved by a sweet memory. Means, not agent, because memory is not a person. And the rest of it, I taught hum. That's from itos. Itos is third declension. EU kandar rum, an adjective I don't think we've ever actually seen. But we got it in chapter 16, pleasant. They're both genitive. That's first declension genitive, and that's second declension. So it's the sweet memory of a pleasant age. And I brought this back up to be like, remember to look for ablatives when your verbs are passive and use the preposition by to translate them. I'm even putting the by in green because it's not like it has a Latin counterpart. We do usually use a or ob for ablative of agent, but this isn't agent, so we don't have to. But we still understand by as being the kind of preposition that should be communicated. If I pick this one, you would just tell me the verb is first person, so it's going to be kind of different than this. It is still plural, and it is still passive, obviously. I'm only going to be asking about passive verbs tomorrow.
Bentley, don't scream.
What? So, like the question about the voice of a verb would actually be a valid question if I was tricky enough to ask about the voice of active verbs, but I'm not going to do that. If I'm asking about a verb's voice, it's because the verb is passive. So the question itself kind of gives away the answer. But like whatever, I just want y'all to understand the concept of a verb's voice. Okay, so let me run through those real quick and then we're done. First, person, plural. That's where the we comes from. Passive voice, like all of them are, but it's present tense. This one was also present tense, and it is third person plural, as all of the rest of them are. And it's passive. Okay, they're all passive. And then this one, third plural, passive, imperfect because of the VA. Were Oh, whoa. So we can. I'm talking about Lada Bontour. Okay, I almost just freaked out. That's about Lada Bontour because in Kippy Bon is active. So I don't know what I'm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then this one is it was third plural, passive and perfect as well. Which one can I rule out? I gotta give you guys some slack here. Does anybody have a suggestion? Is one of them like really bad or something? This one's short. Which one's really long? Is there a long one I can maybe get rid of? I kind of like that one. This one. This one's really large. Oh wait, but I said I might want to ask about the infinitive. No, let's roll this one out. Y'all just know about how infinitives work, and let's rule this one out. So fair game is 1, 3, 4, and 5, unless it didn't start with number 1. I forget if it was one of those. Okay.
It started with 3.
Oh, it started with 3. Okay, so I guess fair game is 3, 5, 6, and 7, and not 4. I think that's what we're deciding. Yes. Yeah, because this was number 2. Yeah, let's skip number 2. All right, guys, any questions, comments? That the assignment will get put out in the morning. It'll probably say due like Sunday, but don't wait till Sunday unless you have like a really good reason. And then enjoy your long weekend. I'm going to stick around and go over the first 3 sentences again because of the weird glitch so I can upload this for people who weren't there. But y'all can definitely leave. So have a good weekend. Good luck on your test. And goodbye. Can't find my thing. But yeah, see y'all later. Unless you want to hear me talk about the first 3 again. Goodbye. Oh. Never mind. All right. Okay. I think I said at the beginning of what will be a video because I hit record when I started this again. But I started to stream this and then we got kicked off the Zoom and I don't think it recorded. So let me go over the first 3 homework sentences and describe what questions I'll ask about for the quiz tomorrow. Okay, this one was minds is the subject, of all listeners is genitive, and then we have an imperfect passive verb there at the end, mauvais bon tour. So ignoring the middle and just trying to get that passive verb translated, it'd be the minds of all listeners were moved. The were comes from the fact it's imperfect and from the fact that it's passive and like we got to get a helping verb. That's the one thing about passive voice is that you're always having to bust out a helping verb to translate them, whether it's am, are, is, like I am verb, you are verb, it is verb, or if it's imperfect was or were verb, or future will plus be verb. And so it's like when you know your verb's passive, you know you're going to be messing with a helping verb, but the tense, just like always, is the thing that actually tells you which helping verb to use. So were moved, not actively moving, but we're passively moved. And then we have an ablative of means here that we translate not with, but by the third satire of that famous poet. Oh, and one thing I forgot to say for the stream is that I think it's so crazy here that Ilias, Poetae, and Clary are all genitive, but they all have like totally different looking endings. It's just kind of crazy. Poetae gets a first declension ending, but because it's technically masculine, its adjective buddy gets a second declension genitive ending. And then Ilias gets a pronoun genitive. So that's just like kind of crazy. If I pick this one on the quiz, I will ask for the person, number, voice, and tense of mauvais bon tour. It's third plural, which you should be able to tell just based on things you've known for a long time. It's passive voice. Okay, if I'm asking about the voice of a verb, spoiler, it will be passive. All of our verbs up to this point have been active. but I'm not concerned about you telling me that they were active or that, like we'll still get active verbs, but I'll probably only ask about the voice of passive ones, and the tense is imperfect, so that is important. Two more. I think it was in the third sentence that I got cut out. So because I don't think sentences start with relative clauses, so it wouldn't be qui, qui, quod. Because dropped subject, since discipulus is my direct object, because he or she did not, perfect tense, when we use did not, send, or admit rather, students into the school. That's the first part. Then at the end here, cupio is third plural, so the subject switches over to they. It went from third singular dropped, he or she, to they, meaning like the students that were mentioned. Desired, and cupio takes an infinitive, or wished. It can be wished as well. They wished not to move, because we know it's going to take an infinitive, and it's usually the infinitive is like right next to it, right? But that's not an active infinitive, it's a passive. So it's not to warn, it's to be warned. They wished, this is to move, not to warn. They desired or wished to be moved to another school or state. To make these orange. I'm using another. Otherwise, you'd have to bust out. You could say the other, but another feels a little better. All right, I do this one, and I think I'm in the clear since something about never. Laudabantur is third plural. Third plural. And I'm not seeing any third plural nominatives, so I'm going to use they as my subject. Since they were, because I see imperfect, and then it is passive, since they were never praised. Not they were actively praising, but since they were never praised. Let's skip to the end of the second part. They were beginning, because it's still imperfect, or you could say began. That's incipio. Incipio, just like cupio, takes an infinitive. To neglect, illa, studio, levia are all direct objects. Those light studies. It's weird. It's like we still have noun phrases like illa, studio, levia, where they all end in a, especially when they're neutered. Neutered nouns seem to have the same endings regardless of the declension. But then we'll have nouns like ilias poetae clari, which looks totally like it doesn't go together when it does, in fact. If I pick this one, I'll ask about the person, number, tense, and voice of laudabantur, not incipiebant. I don't care about that one. And it's technically the same answers for both of them except for voice, because this one's passive, where this one actually is just normal active. But laudabantur is the third person, plural number, passive voice, imperfect tense, just like the verb in number one. And then I think this is where this is where I got cut off. So I'm going to stop now. And that should be everything. Y'all let me know if there's any questions, comments, concerns. Maybe some latecomers got to see some stuff they missed. I will send out the assignment with a link to a Google Forms test tomorrow morning. Take it, put your sentences away. I know the temptation to not do that is probably really strong. But when I tell you what sentences are going to be on a test, I feel like the lowest bar at that point is just for you to make sure you know every single word in the sentence. I don't think that's too much to ask. And once again, I am ruling out number two. Ruling out number two. So this one will not show up. All right, guys. Good luck on the test tomorrow. Good luck with your e-learning in general. And I will probably see you guys on Tuesday, hall monitoring for the PSAT. But otherwise, have a good 3-day weekend. Goodbye.